My fellow man turned his back on me. Yeah, yes, he did now.
But it's not too late to find out who I am and who I can be.
It's not an easy thing. It takes a lot of trust.
And it takes a lot of guts.
But I'm gonna make it.
Some people look for mama in the bottle. Some people look for papa in the bottle. But they're all looking for love in the bottle, or in drugs, or in the abuse of anything. In the abuse of food, in the abuse of sex. They're looking for something they didn't get and they miss. It's a lack, Felix. And you're torn up about it. And you can't let that hurt and that pain come through.
You can't be blaming stuff that happened to you 20 years ago. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong.
It's not really a question of blaming what happened to you today, on what happened to you when you were a kid. But it's a question at least of understanding yourself today in relationship to what happened to you, to what you didn't get.
The name of the game at Eagleville is to learn to deal with your feelings. And to talk and relate on a feeling level is much more difficult than to intellectualize about it. If you're going to get to know yourself and you're going to identify your feelings, there are pains that one has to deal with in this feeling area that one has to, I call it the maintenance dose of pain, every day. How you feel. Well, I think I feel this. Well, don't forget about the thinking. How do you feel?
Right. Now, how does that feel?
Feels good.
How does it feel with all these guys holding on to you?
Feels damn good.
Well, what more than good?
Huh? It feels secure, I tell you that. It feels like, yeah, that's the way it feels. I didn't feel that for a while.
Well, what? What's that?
That I'm wanted.
Because if we can accept that we all have the same feelings, that's the level we can relate on and really identify with each other. If we start getting intellectual, then we can pull in all the defenses that we use.
When you quit playing around with the words, man.
Catch me, that's how I felt.
Huh?
I felt the man.
How did you feel when the group was rocking you?
I felt, like I told you, safe. That's the way I felt. That's how I felt.
Did you feel any care?
Yeah, I told you I felt warmth and felt the feeling of being wanted. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had me up there. I felt wanted, certainly I did. Yes.
Do you trust this group enough so that the next time you feel you want to go out and drink, do you trust them enough to be able to talk to somebody, man? Yeah. Do you?
The gut level is how you really feel about something. Not how I would get acceptance from the group. Not how society would accept me for saying a certain thing.
Let them know you as you are now. Quit putting on a front for people.
Well, you telling me...
You want to do something, man, to take the place of booze?
Yeah, I do. But...
All right, get in touch with your kids. Yeah. Let them know what you've been doing. Get in touch with your sister. You love your sister. You love your kids.
I love them.
Well, why do you run away from those who you love?
I want them to see me working, man, like they've always known me. Damn.
Quit putting on a front for people.
Damn if that's in there.
Quit it.
That is no front.
Quit it. It is a front.
It's not a front.
It is a front.
Think what you want, but it's not a front.
It is a front. You want to create some great illusion.
Well, and honesty is not something that is picked up by acceptance. You're saying, yeah, I'm going to be honest. Something has to be learned. It's like a half-semester course that you have to learn how to be honest.
Are you ashamed because people in this room see you crying?
I ain't crying, man.
Well, why do you tell me you're not crying and tears are running down your face?
They've been running down my face. They ain't running down my face.
Because being honest hurts, and one has to learn to deal with pain. Pain is conflict. Resolve the conflict, and you grow. and it's a good feeling to grow. It allows some people to get high on people. They don't have to get high on drugs or alcohol. We're going to take a look at a group that's in process. We've developed an attitude that allows a therapist to view an individual as a sphere. And on this sphere are sensitive areas, soft spots. Human beings have a tendency to cover up their soft spots in all kinds of ways. We call them defense mechanisms. Going through life defending things that we don't have to defend can help us change behavior to an inappropriate type of behavior. We all know that kind of person that is the funny man.
Smile when you say it. That's better. Now you look much better.
Who is always funny. It could be the most tragic thing taking place in the life, and a laugh is created.
You dog and your wife, the same thing, huh?
No, it ain't the same.
I've heard addicts pull a lot of tricks, but I've never heard one stoop so low to shoot a dog.
What the hell's the difference what I do to my dog?
Huh?
What's the difference?
What's the difference? You shot up the baby.
There's a lot of difference. There's a difference between a dog and a baby.
You don't draw no line.
You don't know how to love, you don't know how to express anger. You're a robot, man.
You love your wife by putting her out on the block.
How often did you beat her?
What could she do so bad for you to hit her?
She wanted to go see her sister, man. Yeah.
Well, what's wrong with this?
What's wrong with that?
Cut that money
I didn't
off.
want her to go at that time.
Cut that money off.
Why not? Somebody might say leave him.
No, I just didn't think her sister was a good influence. Man.
Come on, what's the real reason?
I don't know.
Don't you think just because she loves you, she can love someone else too?
Not my old lady.
Why not you? Your lady ain't no better than mine.
How do you know that?
Because she loves me, that's why.
She loves
She let you put a needle in her arm. What you ever do for her?
I don't know why she does, but she does.
What kind of feelings do you have for yourself? People dump on you for 2 hours and you take it.
How are you going to stop us from doing it? You going to run?
I ain't gonna run. From who?
Us.
I'm not scared of you.
Oh, come on, you won't even deal with us. Nobody in this room.
I'm not afraid of anybody in here.
You're afraid of reality, period.
No, I deal with reality.
You deal with it.
Yeah,
Do you shoot enough?
sometimes. No.
I'm sitting here getting angry because you let people dump on you.
Well, I don't want them to dump on me either, man.
Well, then tell them you don't want them to dump on you.
How can I tell them, man? I can't argue.
Why can't you?
Why not? You're a human being. You've got a right to do those things.
Yeah, man, but some of the they're saying is right.
Well, tell them what's wrong then.
Get it out. Tell us what you're expected to do to correct it.
I know what I'm gonna do. Look, man, you got a right to feel the way you feel, you know. I don't like it,
You got a right
man.
to feel the way you feel, too.
Yeah, all right, so
And
what?
if you feel angry, you let us know. That's part of what we do in this group. When we get angry, we're angry. And we tell people that we're angry. You can't even accept my anger. You smile when I raise my voice at you. You don't even know what anger means. To you, anger is an open fist. To you, anger is knocking your wife on her backside. That's what anger is to you.
All right, I'm angry. I'm angry.
I'm angry. Should we all smile? You're not angry.
I'm angry, all right?
You're hurt.
All right, I'm hurt, yeah. Call it what you want.
Tell us what it's like
What's like?
to feel hurt.
It just hurts, man.
Come, share it with us.
It's- I can't describe it. It just hurts, that's all.
Where does it hurt?
It hurts right inside, man.
Share that hurt with us. Where do you feel?
That's stupid.
Everybody that hurts along with you in here, just
That's
as activated
stupid.
as you are, went through the same program you are, they're stupid.
That's right. Hurting for somebody else is stupid, man, because there's enough things to hurt for your own self for.
You're going to
But
keep
I
all your
for
hurt
somebody
inside.
else.
So you're going to turn us off?
No, but I'm not going to hurt for you, man. You know,
Will you let me hurt for you?
you can do whatever you want to do. You know,
What are you,
I don't need your sympathy, you know.
You don't need our help
hurt
then.
from me.
you don't, what do you want from us?
I just want help.
How are we gonna help you?
Double talk about it, hurt it.
Is that help? Hurting for me? You know,
part of it.
I'm concerned about a lot of people, but I don't hurt for them. You know.
You're not truly concerned about it.
You're not concerned then, no.
Right.
Why should you hurt now for something that happened 2 years ago to me?
Because you're showing us the hurt.
Aren't you hurting?
It's just a case that, like, it's done, man. You know, and it's like over, and
That might be the reason that we could help you. Look, I went through all this stuff. They took a poll. They said I was not telling everything, which was true, so everything came out. And that's what we want from you. Just give us something to start with. We're not
What,
therapists.
man? What?
I don't know. That's up to you. You're the one involved, and we want to be involved with you.
So what do you want from me, man? I guess I should know the answers. Yeah.
You're a human being, you know, and because you're a human being, you're entitled to certain rights. And as long as you're in this group, I want you to use those rights. And one of those rights is the right to be loved, and to be loved by everybody. And you have a right to demand that love from everybody in this group. And when you feel you want love from somebody, you ask for it, and you'll get it. When you learn how to accept that, you start getting healthy, and start getting in touch with your feelings. And you also have a right to get angry, and to express that anger. We're all strong enough here to deal with it, and to accept it. If you're angry at somebody, tell them, and they'll accept it. And if I'm angry at you, I'm going to tell you. And if I want love from you, I'm going to ask you for it. I'm going to demand it. Because I'm a human being too. And I have feelings too. And if I hurt from you, I want you to accept that hurt. Because you've got a lot of it. And maybe I can take some of it from you. And we can deal with it together. Can you accept that?
Most of it, yeah.
Show them how we show our concern with you.
Everybody in this room has problems, Bill. Some resolved, some aren't.
We'll give you all the help we can, though.
I want help. I want help.
Okay, one more. Turn up a little bit. Don't forget.
Do everything I can do.
Okay. Do you know it's hard for 2 minutes?
I feel better.
Feel better?
And it's just hard going down, that's all.
Who cares about a junkie? Who cares about a guy that steals and deals and shoots a spike in his wife's arm? Who ever cared about you? Who cares about an old drunk? Do you care about those guys?
He's not just a little drunk.
Who is he?
He's a friend of mine.
Tell him.
You know you're a friend of mine, don't you?
I want to be.
You are.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I accept that. Damn, I want to be a friend of yours.
Well, Dennis over there is crying for you.
He isn't stupid because he's crying.
I don't know how to say it, man. Never had anybody cry for me before. Not somebody I didn't know. That wasn't part of my family. I don't know what to say. It's not, I appreciate it, you know. It's more than that.
Just tell him what it is.
It's a lot of things, man. It's just having somebody that cares that much, you know. It's a lot of feelings. I don't cry for very many people, and when I do, that's a pretty big thing for me, you know. I gotta really care a lot, you know, before I could cry about somebody else, man. It seems like it shouldn't be that unnatural. I don't know, I always figured, you know, big boy, you know, I don't need people to cry for me, you know, take care of myself.
Well, you haven't done a very good job, huh? That's what we're concerned about.
Well, now you've got 11 guys that care about you. And learn to accept it.
That's like learning fast.
It's hard, though.
Yep, we'll come around.
I should mention the rules of group around Eagleville. There are very few inhibitions in a group therapy session. There are no inhibitions to language. There are no inhibitions to behavior as such, except the cardinal rule of Eagleville, no violence.
I can be pushed so forward, just like you done in the Marine Corps. That's why I got that BCD busting that lieutenant upside of his head. Took 47 stitches in it.
So what are you telling me?
I ain't telling you nothing. I'm just telling you the way that I just don't get pushed, that's all.
You know what?
What?
You're going to be pushed in here.
Not too much. To a certain extent I will, but not too much. I'm telling you.
You're going to be pushed in here, man. I'm telling you right now. Have you been persecuted, Jimmy? Huh?
No.
Well, why are you so set to feel that people are going to take advantage of you? You're already set to fight.
See, I wouldn't even listen to my mother when I was a kid. But I listened to
but you know how you come off?
What?
Like you're bragging about it.
I ain't bragging about it.
And like it's very funny to you, and it's not funny with it, goddamn.
I know it ain't. It ain't funny to me either. But see, I've been like this all my life. I've been growed up, I ain't gonna be pushed by nobody.
Who you on guard against?
I don't know myself, I guess.
Well, you say that very easy. What do you mean about yourself? What about yourself? Huh, Jimmy?
I don't know.
Well, Jimmy, we've got to find out some answers.
I just don't give a damn. Does that answer your question enough now?
When you first came into the group, you came up to me, you know, and you said, you know, I use drugs too, you know.
Yeah, I do.
And like you made a short statement, and then you ran off.
Yeah.
You know?
I know it.
And I was like left standing there, you know, and, you know, that's the end of the conversation, and he's in the wind somewhere.
What can we help you with, Jimmy?
I don't know if I can just learn to take orders and learn to set in the group.
Not a question of taking orders. It's a question of finding out who you are.
I'm gonna have to change, that's all.
Well, how?
Change myself.
Well, what is there about yourself that you have to change?
A hell of a lot.
Well, what? Tell me what. What do you have to change? What do you want to change?
Damn if I know.
What?
I'm all screwed up. I don't know.
All right, man. Okay, now. Maybe you're coming off a little bit more honest. You don't know. And maybe that's the place to start. That you don't know. Maybe we can help you to know, Jimmy. Maybe we can help you to find out. Because if you can live all your life as though you knew, all your alcoholic life, all your life of being an addict or something, as though you knew. And becoming an addict was testimony to the fact that you didn't know. You didn't know. You were running away from knowing.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know.
Where are you from?
Douglas, Wyoming. Where a man's a man out there.
Well, you know, it sounds like you depend upon external things to make you feel good, to make you feel like a man.
The way I feel right now, I'd like to have me about 2 bottles of...
Then that would make you feel like a man, wouldn't it?
No, it put me down someplace.
Uh-huh. Well, you can forget about your problem.
Well,
What are you saying now? You mean that you don't feel like a man?
Sure I do.
Do you? If you feel so much like a man, then why do you have to depend upon somebody to support you, to make you high?
You ever drove when you was drinking?
No.
Never drove when you was drinking?
I won't fool with the car when I'm drinking. See, a man when he's driving drunk, his brains is locked on one thing, that's another drink. And he can't judge his distance tailgating people. That's why so many accidents comes up. He can't judge his distance. A drunk man can't do nothing.
You're damn right. He can't judge nothing.
The only thing he can judge is that jug. And when he goes getting empty, he goes to the liquor store or the bootlegger or whatever he might go to get it. That's all he judges now. I know. I've been places I didn't even know I'd been in.
You said drunk killed your wife.
Yeah. I was up in Jersey City when it happened. He run into her with a pickup truck. He's one of them clod busters, them farmers, you know.
Why?
Damn right.
How many people you hurt while you was drunk? A lot of people feel that way about you.
I don't know. See, when I'm drinking, I'm a different guy altogether.
We are.
I get by myself and I want to stay by myself. I just don't want nobody messing with me when I'm drinking.
Bad son, you're running.
A drunk man, you can sit and talk to a drunk
We're
man.
talking about a drunk man, talk about yourself.
I'm talking about myself.
Well, then say I.
You
Don't
can
talk about
start,
a
you
drunk
start
man.
talking with a man and him drunk.
Why don't you quit talking about that other guy? Why don't you talk about yourself?
I compare the guy with me. The
We'll
way
talk
I do.
about you and we're talking about that other guy.
The way I do.
We'll talk about the way you do. We're talking about a drunk man and what he'll do.
Of course, I tell you
Because
something.
you've been a drunk man.
See, I tell you something, Win. I don't have to get drunk to hit a man or kill him.
So what are you telling us, Jimmy? You telling us that you're a violent, angry man? Huh? Is that what you're telling us?
No, I just don't take no pushing, buddy. You can discharge me now if you want to. I don't give a goddamn.
Discharge you for what?
Because I just don't take no pushing, Win, that's all.
What
I
do you
don't
take
argue with a
pushing?
man. I don't want to argue with a man now.
Who's arguing?
Nobody.
You've been arguing with yourself all your life, Jimmy. You've been arguing with yourself all your life. And what are you so upset about? What are you so violent about? What are you so rageful about? And you've been carrying a tremendous weight on your shoulder, man. Because you don't believe it yourself about yourself.
No.
Be yourself. You're coming off with a lot of this, you did this, you're like a tough guy, like guys come in prison.
Just like I told you.
A couple of years after they break down, so you got to come down to be yourself too. You're weak in a lot of ways you don't want to admit it. You want to keep this
goddamn
bad business stuff. Yeah.
Why? Why is that so?
I don't weaken, man.
You're weak too. You know, you're weak for the
I don't
bottle.
weaken. I don't weaken, man.
But you don't want to come out
Goddamn
and admit
baby
it.
weakens. A man don't weaken. If a man weakens, he might as well hang his goddamn self. That's the way they train in the Marines.
Yeah, but Jimmy, how long you been out of the Marines?
Just 49.
Uh-huh. That's a hell of a long time, man. That's 21 years.
You didn't go to the Marines at that.
You've been out of the Marines 21 years, Jimmy, and you're still thinking like you're in the Marines.
I guess you always think that way.
Yeah, but you've been a drunk, man, for 21 years since you've been out of the Marines.
I was drinking in the Marine Corps.
All right, so even then you didn't act like a man. So what are you talking about? If a man weakens, he might as well be this and that and the other thing.
No, if he does.
You were weakened when you were in the Marines even. And you've been weakened since you've been out of the Marines.
I've been weakened on that booze and that
Mm-mm.
other thing, morphine.
That's not where it's at. You were weakened, and that was the thing that made you go on that drug.
There are 4 areas in which people have problems that cause them to change behavior. Number 1, the inability to give love. Number 2, the inability to receive love. 3, the inability to express anger. And 4, the inability to accept anger. Now, we have learned through our society how to react to these 4 areas. Good little boys don't cry. You're a good little boy, therefore you shouldn't cry.
Well, I didn't cry when my mother died. I didn't get to see my father and he's put away. So, what use me to cry now?
There's plenty of use for it. Because the fact that you didn't cry means that, like, you got all that tension built up inside.
Jimmy, you're a human being, man. And being a human being, you have weaknesses just like anybody else does. If you didn't feel weak, then you wouldn't have to prove that you were so strong.
He prayed down and cried. It hurts him so bad, you can see it all over his face.
Yeah.
But he's a scared, see? He just,
Yeah.
Nobody wants to help you, man. If you want to cry, you cry. All right. Everybody likes you, all right?
Hell yeah, man, you ain't alone, Hamilton. We all play, boy, I'm telling you. Everybody. We all play, I mean that, we all are. We all are.
I don't think any less of it. I get that. We've done each other all the time, boy.
I think we all have to get it back sometime. I know you're more of a man now than you were before. Do you realize that?
I believe so.
I noticed that.
Jimmy, you don't have to prove anything.
You don't have to prove it, you know that? Just be what you are. Just be what you are.
Thanks, Wayne. You had to break me down.
Just be what you are, man. You know?
You guys had to break me down, though. Getting the hurt out of here.
Getting the hurt out, that's where it's at.
You did it.
Yeah. I know what I got. Like I told you, I got to change it with.
You hear what Frank said this morning about being in the group?
Yeah.
And that he realizes that everybody else has problems. You know, and that's the reason to talk about the way in which you feel. Because you're not alone. Now, Jack said it to you, Felix said it. You're not alone.
In creating an atmosphere where people must face themselves and where people must support one another, we often see changes in personal attitudes in only a few weeks.
You think I've been hostile to you this morning? Maybe because I see me sitting there about a week or two ago. Same spot. Same spot.
Do you understand what he's saying?
See himself.
What else?
Same position.
What else?
And that he is concerned.
Yeah, I'm concerned, but I'm more than concerned, man. I sat here and laughed at a man sitting on the couch because he was crying. You know? I said he was a fool. And I'm sitting here now trying to keep it together. Because I don't want to see you get up. Because you mean something, you know?
While observing these groups, we sometimes forget these are real people with real problems. And the outcome of their experience at Eagleville can be a matter of life and death.
I don't want to see two other guys die.
You're leaving just enough to play with. Just enough to play with. Well, I'm being honest. Well, you're being a liar. That's what you are.
I can't take their stash. I can't play with these people.
What the hell you said you fucking blame
Give them money.
Give them money. Give them money and
Give
burn
them
the
money for
dough.
their part of it. Throw it out.
You got lots of money. You're a rich kid.
I have lots of money. I had
You got
a little
enough-
bit coming in.
You got enough.
I'm not playing now. I'm not
Right.
playing now.
If I had a bag of dope, you think you'd have any trouble figuring out a reason why to do it?
I think if you put a bag of dope,
Yeah.
I wouldn't shoot it right now. Just the way I feel at this minute.
Yeah.
I would not shoot it.
How about tonight?
I can't say.
Okay, would you do something for me? Just switch roles between the guy that wants to shoot and the guy that doesn't want to shoot.
I want to be straight. I don't want to lose my identity. I want to do dope because I want to get high. I want to escape. I want to feel good. Well, maybe I can feel good without the dope. Maybe I can feel just as normal. I think I can. But what am I going to do if the dope is right in front of me? I'm going to shoot it, and I'm not going to be able to say no. I'm going to face responsibilities, and I'm going to say no, because I know this isn't where it's at.
Which guy was it easier to be?
Straight guy.
It's really easier to be the straight guy?
Yeah. I really couldn't think why I wanted to get high.
I'd say it's a bunch of bull. I mean, obviously it's easier to be the guy who wants to get high.
I didn't hear any change, though, in the tone of voice or any change in feelings.
One talking to the other, you didn't use any kind of conviction.
I don't know if I had any conviction.
Well, no, you didn't argue with the opposite one.
I went through a change thinking about really why I wanted dope. Like, I don't know.
You see, it's all up here. You're intellectualizing the whole thing. You were very detached. You were like someone standing aside and looking in on someone who was very intellectualized, trying to find out all the reasons why he's not going to take dope. And someone sticks that under your nose, man, and you operate from here, not up here. You don't need reasons.
You don't have any trouble figuring out whether or not you want to do dope when the time comes to do it at night. You know, and if somebody said, all right, I'll give it to you, man, but give me one good reason, man. Man, you come up with a dozen good reasons. You could talk your mother out of her drawers, man, to get a bag of dope.
When you're addicted, yeah. When you need it. When your Jones is coming down, when you need it.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about tonight, last night, next week. If I got dope, and I said, I'll give it to you if you can give me a good reason, you'll have more good reasons than I can think of not to.
You're actually thinking about your stash outside right now, right? Ain't that what you're thinking of?
It's part of it.
Like to do a little dope right now?
Yeah. No. You want to shoot up?
No.
We get you some.
You're a liar.
You don't want to do dope? You want to prove it?
Yeah.
Would you be willing to take your counselor and dig it up and let him burn it for you? Would you be willing to take Barry and dig the dope up? If you don't want it, would you be willing to dig it up?
It's no laughing matter, man.
Yeah.
No jail, no nothing. Just dig it up and let him do away with it.
Okay. This is it. This is the place.
Okay, we're at.
This is like the hollow tree. I had it in the rock, like right underneath.
You want to dig up that dope or not?
Come on, you must have made markings and remembered how far it was. Nobody buries all that dope and not remember.
Yeah, but like,
Is it
like
there,
it's been
there, or
been
ain't
wondered. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been there to see it.
You know.
I did not have a chance to go out and see whether that stash was there.
Do you really have the dope, Barry?
Yeah.
You set up at the feet. You've got it sitting there waiting.
You want to stop doing dope, man?
Yeah.
Now, how come I don't believe you?
I don't believe that at all.
How come I think you're sitting there lying your ass off because you're trying to keep things under control so that you can feel as comfortable as possible in here? I don't know how anybody else feels, but I don't believe you want to stop dope.
That's right. You can sit in therapy for the next 10 years. Nothing's going to happen. It's what you do.
That's just the way I am.
That excuses everything. That's the way I am.
Why don't you tell us your behaviors in your subconscious and you can't control it?
You're the angriest man in the room right now, and you're sitting there like a little machine fending off anything that's happening around you. You're completely enclosed in yourself. You've put in 16 months. You're a college grad from an upper middle class home, and you're not even angry.
Can't get it out. Like, I just can't get that anger out. Like, you know.
Can't?
For the last, you know, maybe I can, but the last 16 months, it's been driven into me. You better not.
I want to see you get straight, because that's where I'm at. I want to, man. I want to get straight more than anything else in the world.
How do I even know it's there?
Well, whether or not it's there, but that's what you ought to be looking at. Your concern and love for other human beings. And accepting that love and concern from other human beings in this group. Bill, do you want to show them how we show love at Eagleville?
Come here. You want help, man? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. Anything I can do, man. Come with me, let me know.
It wasn't that long ago. It was only a matter of a couple of weeks, maybe even just a week, that I felt like I really wasn't very much. I'll tell you, it's kind of rough, but I really don't see any other way as being more effective, because nobody's going to face, the guy inside of you, the things that are really bugging you if you don't have to, It's the kind of a thing that, people don't do by choice. It's something that, you have to be pushed till you got your back to the wall, until you have to face things. Because that's the only way you're ever going to do it. If I could have done it, I'd still be outside.
For some residents, 2 or 3 months here aren't nearly long enough. A person may be discharged, have a drinking episode, or shoot up, and have to return to Eagleville.
You want to stay sober? Do you want to stay sober? You didn't want to last time.
I did want to.
Did you? I don't believe that.
Yeah. I went home every weekend.
No, I mean when you were discharged.
I was going to stay sober.
What, for 24 hours?
About 24 hours.
48 hours? This time you're not going to sit here the whole 2 months and relax. This time you're going to work it through.
So I walked in the apartment. That's it.
I thought you were separated from your wife.
I was.
So, what happened?
Made up.
She was crying on the phone. When she called, I might talk to her.
What did she say to you, Bill?
She said Dennis just tried to kill himself.
Nah.
Please God, would they get him back in here?
What did you try to do?
I was going to jump out the window.
Tell us about it.
What's there to tell?
Come on.
People don't jump out of windows for no reason, man.
Come on, Dennis. Why did you want to kill yourself?
I don't know. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd feel real bad. And I got that thought. I get drunk, forget all about it.
Did you want to or not?
I did sober.
You didn't have enough guts.
No.
How do you feel about it now?
Just disgusting.
With who are you discussing about?
Me?
How about your wife?
Was she fighting with you?
Come on, Dennis. You're getting back in your old bag.
I can't talk.
We don't look at that as, going down to the bottom again. We'll pick them up at that point and get to the stuff, readmit them and get to the stuff that we hadn't gotten to before.
You don't want your son in the house, and you're paying the bills, and he's a bum. And you have valid reasons for not wanting him in there. He's drinking all the time. You're trying to kick your drinking habit and all this. And you tell him to leave, and he says no. So you get in a fight with him, and you beat him in the fight, and then you leave. That doesn't make sense. If I had somebody that I didn't want in the house, I'd damn sure find a way to get him out, one way or the other.
And if he made me mad enough to fight about it, and I beat him, it would be him that went, not me.
I don't know. Every time there's a fight, it seemed like the cops took me out. Well, legally, I could have him taken out.
What do you mean could have?
Why didn't you?
They think that way.
Well, what gets you into the fight all the time? You will tell him to leave? Yeah. Tell him to leave.
Leave. I'm not going to leave. Just sit right here in your comfortable chair. I'm going to watch television.
That punk. Not going to tell him to
You're
leave.
gonna take that from the cock of the
hell out.
Go ahead in the kitchen.
Tell him to get the hell out.
Oh, are you
Go
crazy?
ahead in the kitchen.
I can't do it.
Go ahead in the kitchen.
I had it out so many times.
I want to watch television. You're in my way. Get up and leave.
He'll screw the house up, and if you don't like it too damn bad, he'll call the cops and have you taken out.
And I can tell people to leave. I can say, get out of my room.
And you cheer
And like I
him
can
on.
watch television, and I can get fed.
And you ain't got the to stand up.
And nobody's going to say anything to me, so I dig it. This is really nice.
You're gonna stand up.
I think I'll just be a bum the rest of my life, because this is the easiest way.
Maybe
You let him destroy his own life besides your life.
Than he is.
Maybe even do drugs, too.
What a life he's got.
He'll throw you out if it gets inconvenient.
I just call the cops. That's all I'll do.
All you gotta do is pick up a phone and you're
I just
out.
pick up the phone and I'm going to call the cops and you're going to leave. And I can do anything I want.
Stop being so good, Dan.
I realize now I shouldn't have walked out.
And I think like next week I'm gonna have you clean the
I don't
house.
think you got the...
What should have you done?
If you can't face him, how the hell do you expect to face your son? What are you gonna do, grin at him too?
Is that what you want to be? Wishy-washy like that? Tell all these punk kids here you're a man.
I think I'm more man than you are, and I'm half your age.
I think you're
Are you a man?
You are.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Are you a
I
man?
can't hear you, sweetheart.
Yeah, I'm a man.
Say
I
it.
can't hear you, sweetheart. Are you a man?
Maybe now I ain't, I don't know.
Maybe now.
Maybe now you're not, huh? What, do you be a man one day and then you're not the next?
Maybe some more where
Why ain't you a man now, Dennis?
booze.
How about right now? You're sober. Come on, Dennis.
I am a man, I tell you.
Tell us that again.
Well, why can't you say it?
Say it like you mean it, like you want to.
Convince me.
Don't run away from these guys, Dennis.
I don't run away from nobody.
You are.
You're running away
That's
now.
exactly what you're doing, and you know it. I really feel disgusted, man. Are you a man or not? You know, why can't you raise your voice?
Well, why would that help me raise my voice?
I'm calling you a lush and a stew bum. Is that reason enough?
And I know you don't mean it. What the...
What are you talking about? I don't mean it.
Look at his eye.
The hell if I don't.
Look at his eye.
He thinks you're a wishy-washy old man.
I don't think so. I know so.
Are you wishy-washy? Are you
No
wishy-washy?
wonder your son on you.
Do you want us to bury you? Dennis, do you want us to bury you?
No, I don't want to be buried.
What do you want to do? Do you want to stay alive?
That's all.
Then fight for it.
You sat here and you cried like a baby for me. Because you know what I was feeling, and you know where I was at, and what I was going through, and you do that with a lot of other people, and you help them, and you feel for them, and you talk to them, and when you go outside, you take the same sensitivity and the same feelings, and you punish the hell out of it until you can't take it anymore. Go ahead, cry. Come on, let me see some more tears.
My stomach's tearing me apart.
Maybe you're getting some feelings, man.
No,
Maybe he wants to get out.
I don't know what it is.
Maybe he wants to get the hell out of there.
Pull apart. It comes to a real...
Come on, get those cramps out, Dennis. Get those cramps out. Come on. Get it out of here. Come on.
Deep breaths. Come on.
Come on, Dennis.
Breathe. Put your head up, Dennis. You're a man. Put your head up.
Come on, let it come out. Come on. Have a good cry. Have a good cry.
Breathe.
Who are you crying for now?
Me.
Why are you crying for yourself?
I don't think I am a man.
No. You think you could ever be a man? Huh?
I don't know.
Could you try?
I did try.
Maybe this time without help? What do you think? Is that why you cry? Because you feel bad about yourself?
Yeah. I want to stay sober.
Tell Bill to.
I want to stay sober.
Do you really want to stay sober?
Yes, I do.
Can we help you?
You know what? I believe you.
I want to, but I don't know how.
Can we help you? Can you ask us for our help? Go ahead.
Will you let me? Will you let me help you? You know you're a man. Don't you know that when you're outside, we still worry, and we still care,
Yeah. I had that. I had my own problem, my own trouble.
Think we forgot about you?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Don't you know that you're someone important to us? You're important to me, and you're important to Dennis, and you're important to Barry. You're important to all of us. Because we care about you.
We need you, man. We need for you to get well. Maybe by helping the other guys, too, when we're dealing with them. Is one way. Let them know what you think of them. Don't let them get away with anything.
You've got a right to a lot of things, Dennis. Yeah? You've got a right to respect, and you've got a right to demand that we care about you and that we love you because you're part of us. You're one of us. That's not something we do because we do it as a favor to you. It's something you got a right to demand. Because you care about us. You know? And you've got a right to demand that same caring right back. There's a lot of things what happened with Dennis this morning that I can identify with. I mean, I've seen enough, I guess, alcoholics in here that have been alcoholics who've been drinking for 20 years. You know, and I really don't know what the odds are on them, whether or not they're going to change or whether they're not going to change. In the case with Dennis, for instance, that don't stop me from caring, you know. You know, I don't care if he's been drinking for 20 years, you know. That's probably one of the reasons I care, you know, is because I know how useless it looks to him, you know. And he's got such a background in bad experiences and failures and, you know, guilt, all that kind of crap. You know, I know where he's at. You know, it can't stop me from caring, you know. And I still feel the way I do about him, and I still want to try and help. If he makes it, you know, great, man. You know, and if he doesn't make it, then we'll have to try again, that's all. You know, maybe the odds are against him. I guess the odds are against all of us. Mathematically, I really don't stand a snowball's chance in hell. But, you know, I don't live on math. I live on what I feel. I live on what's inside of me. I have people that I can run to when I'm scared, you know. I have ways to deal with anger. All you can do is try, man, you know. That's all you can do.
I think it's ironic that many people look at alcoholics or addicts as unfortunate, when actually the residents at Eagleville have an opportunity to understand themselves that many of us may never have.
How do you account for the change?
I decided that I'm going to get the therapy in here and not worry at this point what is going to happen to me when I get outside.
Do you realize, Frank, that there's really nothing magical when you say get the therapy?
Yeah.
Nothing, you know, nobody lays their hands on you and this kind of thing. You know, there's something you have to take the responsibility.
Right. This is, you used the word, I used it the other day. I think I've been looking for a magic cure. Like I walk
Everyone does, Frank.
And walk out and I'm cured.
Yeah, everyone does.
I've begun to realize this is not true. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process. And I'm willing to accept it.
You know what? It's going to be a process.
Yeah.
It's going to last the rest of your life.
That's right.
You know, and something just gets started here. And hopefully you can take something away from here when the process has begun for you that you apply to the rest of your life, you know, because conflicts go on, man, for as long as you live.
No man is so lost that hope cannot find him.
No man is so hurt that love cannot help him. Had nobody to care.
Till I came here, and now I found myself, and I like what I found.
Anybody have anything they want to say?
I
Why is everybody so afraid to give somebody love?
I don't know. And one last question, why did it take so long for it to come out of me, huh?
Because you're stubborn.
Why? Because you spent 50 years burying it.
Burying it. You've been running for 50 years, Jack.
That's a damn good question Mike asked. Why is everybody so afraid to give somebody love? Good God.
Ashamed of you being human.
All right. Let's have a good day.
Well, I better have a cup of coffee. Coffee's ready.